Hey, Insider, we got a special guest tuning in with us today who've recently graduated from our flagship course, Life Mastery Achievers, also known as LMA. And she'll be sharing with us in terms of her journey on board, what she found great about the journey and everything between. So just want to say it's a pleasure to have you with us. Let's start with the first question. What's your name, where you're currently based, and what you currently do?
So my name's Dominique Truman. I'm currently based in Auckland, New Zealand, and I'm a client executive for Marsh Limited, which is an insurance broker.
Okay, nice. So let's start at this point in the story, Dominique, in terms of, let's rewind time. Before you had come across the LMA course, do you mind just kind of giving us a glimpse of what was happening in your life that back then? What were some of the problems you was experiencing and how was you experiencing it every single day?
Yeah, so prior to starting LMA, I was suffering quite a lot from social anxiety. I really struggled speaking in front of anyone, and it wasn't all the time, but I would go through these moments of just being completely felt like paralyzed by sort of speaking. Some people would ask me a question and I'd just be like frozen, and it almost felt like I was going to die if I said the wrong thing.
Mm.
And that just really impacted me on a work level, but also on like friendships. I couldn't really be my true self and I was holding everything inside, and I really struggled expressing myself. And I've spent many years trying to overcome this, and I spent a lot of money, did a lot of different things, and yeah, I was still struggling just prior to starting LMA.
Right. What were some of those things you were trying to try and resolve this issue?
So I read many books. I've got a bookshelf full of self-development books.
Okay.
I tried different supplements. I tried sprays, homeopathic remedies. I did courses. I spent a lot of money on courses as well, different healing, hypnotherapy. I've tried so much.
Right.
And yeah, just for some reason, it just wasn't working.
Well, this is our first time we're actually communicating one to one, let's say. And
Yeah.
it's crazy because social anxiety is something that I've used to suffer from as well. And it's interesting because you can't really often tell somebody struggling with social anxiety, as in they don't always look like a sufferer. On the
Mm.
surface, they may seem quite calm or quite confident, but on the inside, it's a whole different matter. And with you, Dominique, anytime I saw you in the community, I wouldn't have thought that was your problem back in the days.
Mm.
Was there specific triggers for you? As in, for me, sometimes where I had it the most was public speaking. But was there specific things that you struggled with the most in terms of social anxiety?
Yeah, it was definitely public speaking. Meeting new people was another one, like going into a group of new people that I didn't know. Being asked a question in front of a whole bunch of people would just completely like trigger me, almost like when people had their gaze on me, I would just like all feel over this like, oh, it was really paralyzing, quite crippling at times.
Right.
Mm.
So you had tried a lot of things and you came across, do you remember how you came across us? Was it on YouTube or?
Yes, it was on YouTube. I was
Okay.
watching somebody, and then you just popped up on an ad, and normally I just sort of push the little button, skip ad, and for some reason I just kept watching you. And I think maybe it was your accent, or it was just some of the things you said as well. And I just kept watching, and yeah, I was like quite intrigued.
Okay. And you ended up joining our free masterclass called The Free Secrets to Reinvent Yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
think your perspective is going to be quite interesting in regards to because you had tried a lot of things prior to joining LMA. So what made you essentially want to try the LMA course? I mean, did you have any form of skepticism or any doubts or fears about this decision? And what ended up putting that fear to rest for you?
Yeah, I think my biggest fear was the money, which has been something that's been with me for many years. It was always like any big sort of investment, I was always a bit sort of cautious of.
Mm.
And I just, I have to tell you a funny story. So I was listening to you in the masterclass because the masterclass went on for quite a while and I was quite surprised by that. And I was like, I'm going to have a shower. So I was sort of nearing the end of it and I thought, I'll have a shower. And I was like listening to you in the shower. And And I sort of, I thought to myself, oh, I'll just end up, what I'll do is I'll just listen and then I'll unsubscribe at the end so I don't get any more emails. But when I was having a shower, something in me just told me that I needed to do this. So my intuition started getting activated. And I just got, all of a sudden, I got the chills. And I
Mm.
was like, I need to do this. And I'm big on intuition, and I do follow my intuition and my sort of higher self. And I just was like, okay, I need to do this. And I just thought, I'm going to do it. And I know it's right for me. And so although the money was a factor, my intuition just took over and I just followed that.
Wow. It's crazy how intuition works, isn't it? It's like when we least expect it sometimes. It's just a totally different decision.
Mm,
So you were saying money was the big objection for you, or the big fear in a way. So
yes.
was there any other doubts you had because you had tried other things before? Was there any other hesitancy within you when you started feeling the intuition? Did you follow it straight away, or was there something that was still blocking you?
No, I followed straight away. I
Oh
just thought,
wow.
you know what? I've actually been on a journey for the last 2 years. I've been on
Mm,
a self-discovery journey, and probably more so than any other time in my life. So
mm.
2 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I sort of went on this inner journey of discovery, is the only way I could sort of describe it. And I just started listening to my intuition a lot more and my inner guidance system. And I feel like LMA is just the icing on the cake for me. It is just everything that I've done up until now has led me to LMA, and LMA has been a turning point in my life. And I know it's just one of the best decisions I've ever made.
So when you got started on the LMA journey, what do you remember initially surprising you or exceeding your expectations when you actually got involved with the work?
Well, I think it was the community. I was absolutely blown away because I just, sometimes you think of like a Facebook community, you think, oh gosh, is it really going to be all it's cracked up to be?
Mm.
Wow, it was incredible. The support, the friendships, the connections that we make is just incredible. And I've never felt so supported and nurtured and cared about in my whole life. And I'm just, yeah, I've been blown away, and I'm so incredibly grateful. And I've just made so many wonderful friends all over the world. I was talking to someone in Canada this morning,
Wow.
who I met through LMA, and it's just beautiful. So it's incredible. I've never had it before in my day-to-day life, and now I've got it, and it's just beautiful.
It does make a big difference when you find, like, when you're surrounded by people who understand you, at the same time perhaps are even going through the same problems. Because I always
Mm.
thought my problem was very unique. And I think sometimes that create a lot of isolation. And there's nothing worse than suffering in silence, right? And this is why we decided to really make this community part of LMA. But great to hear you're benefiting from it.
Mm.
When you started to really delve deeper into the methodology, what did you begin to see and experience in your life? As in, what benefits did you begin to see when you started getting involved with the actual work of LMA?
Yeah, I think for me, the benefits were just in myself. I felt a lot calmer and a lot more present within my body, and as though I suppose I was appreciating the present moment more instead of thinking too much in the future, which for me with anxiety, I would always be thinking too much in advance and be worrying constantly. So it almost like it brought me right into the present moment, and I was able to speak a lot more freely. And it's almost like I just can't stop talking now. I just want to talk and express myself all the time, and it's like such a wonderful place to be. I'm loving myself. And for the first time in 42 years, I feel like I'm actually loving who I am as a person and valuing who I am and appreciating myself for all my unique characteristics. And I've never, ever felt that in my life. So it's just so cool.
I can only imagine somebody watching this right now is feeling like, how did this happen? Like, what did you actually experience? I suppose without ruining all the surprise, do you remember the module that actually had the big insight for you, or like some form of shift that it created within you? Do you remember there was like something that really resonated with you within LMA specifically?
Oh gosh, it's so hard to pinpoint like one specific module, because every single module you get something out of, and it's almost like every module builds on the previous one. So you start one and then you learn so much, and then you get to the next one and then you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And then the next one, it's just like it just doesn't stop, and you just think this is just outstanding. The work is just, I loved it from the minute I started, Tim. It was just, I was just like hooked. And I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't stop doing it. And I was studying late into the night. And I just then was like, right, Dom, you've got to go to sleep. Come on. But I just got so much out of every single module. I think for me, if I had to pick one, it would be module 5,
Okay,
week 5, because
interesting.
that is all about abundance. And you just learn so much about, I want to say, the art of abundance, because it is an art in a way, and the laws of abundance. And it's just beautiful. And I think for me, with my security and insecurity in my life, it's almost like the abundance also touches on those feelings of security, and it sort of goes hand in hand. And yeah, that really, I think that stands out for me the most. But every single module is just incredible.
Yeah, you just brought me back with memory. You were one of the members who was tuning in at crazy o'clock, weren't you?
Yes,
Because you
I
took
was.
advantage of one of the free bonuses, which is chance to join the live version of LMA, and that's running for you. What time? Like
Well, it started off at it's initially 4 a.m., then it was
4 a.m.
3 a.m., and then the last 3 sessions with 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah,
Okay,
2
I
a.m.
got to ask why? Why? I mean, what made you want to wake up at 2 a.m. to go through LMA live, which is totally optional, right? What made you want to do that?
Well, you know what? I was just like, I'm putting myself in, I'm committing to myself 120%. I've paid for this course. I'm going to get the most out of it, because this is for me and this is my life. And if I want to achieve what I want to achieve from this, I have to be fully committed to myself. And I just thought, what have I got to lose? It's only like 6 weeks worth of live events, and when this is like the opportunity of a lifetime for me. And I thought, why not?
Yeah, and I think, you know, one of the things I've realized with individuals who are able to finally change is they've made a real commitment and a decision from their side to change. And that's half of the job already done. And I can tell that you were committed and you wanted to change, hence why you just extracted that result into your life, which
Mm.
pretty much leads perfectly onto the next question in regards to having now gone through this journey. How has your life begun to get better? Like, what benefits have you begun to see in your life? What changes in terms of your behavior and things like that?
Oh, well, number one, I feel happier within myself. Oh my gosh, every day I'm like, I feel happy. I've never felt this level of happiness on a consistent basis before. Yes, I felt happy before, but never consistently waking up feeling like, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing day. Like that to me is just absolutely incredible. I just feel as though I am present. I'm here. I'm present. I'm alive. I'm wanting to achieve things. I'm not scared anymore. Like my anxiety is just, it's like it's lessened so low that I now am able to express who I am and show that to the world. And like, and to love myself, actually love myself, is just like it's something I never thought I could do. And I always looked outside of myself for the answers. I'm looking in, and I'm appreciating this being who looks back at me. And I tell you what, Tim, that is the key to achieving anything in our life, is to love ourselves wholeheartedly, because that is all that there is in this world, is love. And yeah,
For
it's
sure.
just incredible.
So you had done 2 years worth of work prior to joining LMA. I suppose I'm
Mm.
curious to know what makes the LMA different from other things you were trying in the past, such as courses, books, and YouTube videos. What makes it different?
The action. I think for me, it's the action. It's taking action every day. It's stepping outside of my comfort zone, doing these lives. I've never done a live before in my life.
Mm.
And I had to do these lives. And it's like you, when you do the lives, you integrate the information on a deeper level. And it's all very well learning stuff. It's all very well learning the theory of stuff, but unless you're putting it into practice every single day, you're not going to fully embody it. And so that to me was the difference. It was just doing something every day to integrate it, and pushing myself outside of my comfort zone has been massive. That's another key.
Right. It's something I have heard quite frequently, actually, from students, whereby they mention LMA was the vehicle that really made them take action on the principles and the systems and methodologies, because that is when the magic really happens, right? Actually going from knowing to doing to living by these principles. So, Dominique, do you remember what specifically made you want to take action all of a sudden in your life in regards to facing your fears or getting out of your comfort zone? Do you recall when that moment happened, or was there a moment, or was it more gradual? How did that look like?
Gosh, I don't know that it was an actual moment. I know before I found the LMA work, I wrote myself an intention. I wrote an intention that I wanted to, or it was almost like it had happened. And I said, I have released all past limiting beliefs that have stood in the way of me achieving my my dreams. And I just wrote it out, and along with a whole bunch of other stuff. And that to me, then I found the work of LMA, and it was just I just followed the methodology, and I just followed everything that was taught to us. And the fact that learning that you have to step out of your comfort zone in order to move forward was huge for me. And I think I just, when I learned that, and I thought, okay, you've got to go towards that, that's really what got me out of my own way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the final question is going to be, and you were here not too long ago. What advice would you give to somebody right now watching this video who's kind of like on the fence of possibly joining LMA? Having been there yourself, what advice would you give to that person watching this video right now?
Oh, I would just say, just go for it. You've got nothing to lose. You've just got so much to gain. You've got your self love, self appreciation, self value. Oh my gosh, like this is a gift that you can give yourself, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. The cost is nothing compared to what you're going to get from it, and this is going to change your life only for the better. Just do it. And I just want you to do this for yourself, please. It is so important that you do this for not just yourself, but your family and your future generations as well.